All right, now we're going to walk you through what we do to get into our half-court offense, and it's our primary break. And what our goal here is to try to get the ball down the floor as quick as we can and put as much pressure on the defense. The last thing you want to do is go against a set defense time and time after again. So we try to get the ball down there and get the first good shot. And here's what we do. We number our players. Our 1 is our point guard. Her job is going to be to get the ball down the floor as quick as she can by hopefully passing. And if she can't get it up the floor by the pass, then she's going to use a speed dribble. Our 2 wings are number 2 and 3. Even though they're interchangeable, if they're the 2, they're going to run up the right-hand side of the floor every time, and the 3 is going to run up the left-hand side. So accountability there. Our 4 is the person that's in our low post, but again, they're interchangeable. Her job is going to be to run right down the middle of the basketball floor, and then once the ball chooses a side, the left-hand side, she'll come and post up. And then our 5 is probably the most important in terms of what we do after made baskets, because it's her job to get the ball out of the net and into the 1 as quick as possible. The quicker we can get it out of the net and into the 1, the faster we can get it down the floor. So we're going to kind of walk through what happens here. So on a made basket, ball goes through the hoop. As soon as it goes through the hoop, and if I can make one, okay, we flip the switch from defense to offense. Now, just walk for a second. We'll talk about the 2, 3, and the 4. Okay, have you slide back here a little bit. Okay, they should be like a wave going down the floor. The 2 and 3, we want them to get as wide as possible. In practice, we actually have them run out of bounds, so it creates spacing. And their job is this. As soon as the ball goes through the hoop, all right, they don't have to worry about helping with the press, getting the ball in bounds. Their job is to run full speed as hard as they can to the opposite 10-foot volleyball line. And they don't look for the basketball until they get to there. Once the 2 outside people will turn to the inside and look, and then Abby's going to look at whatever shoulder she feels comfortable. But they have to get from this end of the floor to that 10-foot volleyball line as quick as they can. And the one thing that we hold our kids accountable for, or try to, is running. If they start to jog, then we take them out, we find fresh people. That's why we play 10 or 11 kids, because they need to run. This is the most important part. All right, it's kind of like a constant headache. We want to get the ball down the floor as quickly as we can, and as a period of time, it's going to wear them down, and it's going to lead to easy baskets for us. But that's their job. They get there. As soon as it goes through the hoop, Kirsty's job is, if she is not on the right-hand side of the floor, to get over here. If she's already at the right-hand side of the floor, we want to get her butt to the sideline as far down the floor as she can so that she can see what's going on. If they start to face this way, they have no idea where the defense is. They can turn, travel, do all that other stuff. We want to get her butt to the sideline if she's on this side of the floor. If she's not, and this is where we need to train our kids a little bit, if she's not, then it's okay for her to do what she did a second ago, where she'll come back over here, and now she's going to get to that floor as quick as she can in a loop, and we can just throw it to her on the run. And away we go. Okay? And we'll talk a little bit more about Carly here before we go. What we want Carly to do, as soon as this thing goes through the hoop, she's going to get it, hopefully grab it before it hits the floor, and she's going to take it and she's going to get outside the free throw lane here, so the backboard doesn't come into play. And what we'd really like her to do is throw a baseball pass. Get it up high, throw a baseball pass so that we can go. So now once Kirsty has it, we'd really like her to dribble through the middle circle. That way she has the most options. But as she's doing that, if there's somebody open ahead of her, we're going to kick it up. Okay? We're always looking to pass it up. And we spend a lot of time practicing this pass. We spend a lot of time on this pass for a layup in our practice. Okay? And then, you know, those are probably the two most important things. You get that 3-4 times a game, those are easy baskets that, you know, you don't have to work for. So if she can't kick it up, her job is to dribble through the middle of the floor, and then once she gets to half court, pick a side. Now, as that's happening, once she picks a side, and once these two wings have found out they're not going to get layups, they need to make sure they stay wide and outside the three-point arc. Our post player who ran down the middle of the floor, she's going to find the ball, she's going to post up, and then the 5 person is going to trail a little bit behind and stay out of Kirsty's way until we get set. Now again, once we get into this set, we look for some quick scoring options. And some of those are to go right to the wing, and then we love to throw little bounce passes in from the wing and score before the defense gets set. That's one of our first options. Another good thing out of this that's a simple option is to reverse the basketball. And once the ball gets reversed, the post player's rule down here is to keep her head between the basket and the basketball. So she steps in, and a lot of times we can go reverse and we can go high-low. Okay, so we can dump it in there. Those are two real quick things that we can get. Obviously, if nobody's in front of Kirsty, she's going to take it as deep as she can and try to create. We're trying to look for 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, 4-on-3s. Anytime we have an advantage, we're going to keep attacking. The more shots we can get up, the better for us. The more shots, the more possessions, the more mistakes you can make, they get absorbed throughout the game, so we try to, allow ourselves to be aggressive. And then while this is going on, we can get right into our motion offense. All right? There's no time to pull out a thing like this. I mean, if Kirsty were to throw it over here, that's a top-to-top pass. She's going to go screen away, and we're into the stuff that we do on motion. So it flows into it very, very easily. But, the key points, I mean, if you're going to run, and the stuff that we spend a lot of time on is getting the ball. Now, if we're going, let's flip it around and go back that way. Walk through some of this stuff. Okay, and we're just going to walk. Key points. First of all is the 5-person getting the ball out and getting quick. Second key point is the 1 has got to get open right away. They shouldn't be able to pick us up and slow us down. Third big thing is that the 3, 4, and 2 sprint. Absolutely sprint to the opposite 10-foot volleyball line. And if they're not running, then everything else slows down. And they got to understand, the kids, we start to get good at this, we start to understand if I run hard, I may not score, but maybe my teammate will. And that's kind of a fun thing to go when you start to get up and down. But to do this, you have to play a lot of kids, and you have to be, open with turning the ball over. But again, if you turn the ball over and you miss some shots, the more possessions there are in the game, the better it is for us. So that's kind of a philosophy out of the break.